And now a special segment inside the Action Sports Jax 24/7 studios. We've got some special guests. We've got some added hardware inside the studio as well. And we're ready to talk a little Daytona and NASCAR. Let's welcome in our guest. We have Frank Kelleher, track president from Daytona International Speedway. Frank, great to see you again.
Thanks for having me back. Nice to see you.
And one of the drivers looking to take home this fine trophy right here, and Hunter Nemechek. John Hunter, appreciate you stopping by here in Jacksonville.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It's been a great 2 days here in Orlando and Jacksonville, and wrapping up with you here in Jacksonville, so pretty pumped.
Yeah, awesome. That is one of the really cool things about NASCAR is that they are not afraid of taking their drivers all over the place to help kind of promote up the races and get everybody excited. And Frank, talking about getting excited, we are right around the corner from the night race, the fun on a Saturday night at Daytona International Speedway, the Coke Zero Sugar 400.
Yes, sir. Right around the corner. We're going to start the party on Friday with the Wawa 250, the NASCAR Xfinity Series Stars. They're going to take on the track and put on one heck of a show. And then Saturday, though, that's where the drama is. That's where all the attention will be with the Coke Zero Sugar 400. It is the NASCAR regular season finale. So it's so cool that the NASCAR point season starts with the Daytona 500, and now it ends back at Daytona, and it is that win and you're in format where we've got some playoff spots locked up. We've got a handful open. We've got some drivers currently in on points, but stars like Hunter Nemechek who are not in on points yet. The pressure is on, and really the opportunity is there to come and get the job done, win the race, take that trophy home, and then punch your ticket into the playoffs. So
yeah, I've been saying it for weeks now on the program, just the fact that Buescher, Bowman, Priest, all these guys on that bubble. Yeah, you're on the bubble right now, but I think one of the really cool things about having Daytona is that it's a bubble mover. Without a doubt, anybody can come from outside that playoff picture. And Hunter Nemechek, I know that's exactly what you guys want to do here at Daytona under the lights.
Yeah, it definitely is. Daytona has been a really special place for myself, and I've run really well there. Have a lot of confidence coming off of a 5th place finish in the Daytona 500 earlier this year. Led a bunch of laps there last year in the Coke Zero 400 as well. So anything can happen at Daytona. You could be leading and get wrecked. You could be in the back riding around and get wrecked. You just got to miss the big one and hopefully line up in the first 2 rows to have a shot to win the thing at the end. And really, super speedway racing, that's really all you can ask for. So looking forward to getting back to Daytona, racing underneath the lights. The energy changes, the atmosphere changes from a day race to a night race, as well as it being 400 miles instead of 500 miles. So the gloves are going to come off. There's something mindset-wise and something that happens to us race car drivers when we go night racing as well. It seems like the energy and everything gets kind of turned up, and we're hammered down from lap 1.
Frank, from a track perspective, how differently do you guys have to approach the summer race? It's not the Great American Race. It's not the Daytona 500. Nothing is in the sport. But you've talked about the significance and the importance of this race in terms of the playoff picture and trying to get these drivers on. And look, visiting Victory Lane at Daytona, 500, 400, 300, 200, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you get to go to that Victory Lane and hold up a trophy, it's such a huge accomplishment for a driver's career. No,
you nailed it, right? Whether it's 2 wheels with Supercross or the Daytona 200, 4 wheels with the Rolex 24, or a stock car race. If you are a racer, you are familiar with Daytona, and you want to race at Daytona, and the dream is to park your car or your bike in Victory Lane. So as far as us preparing, we know that's what all of these athletes that are coming to Daytona to accomplish. Our fans know that as well. So for us preparing, the property is going to be amazing. Ticket sales have been phenomenal. There still are tickets available. DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com. There's still plenty of options to come and experience it. But yeah, just it's not fair to compare it to the 500.
It really isn't.
However, though, there is just something about the driver showing up with just a different mindset of, like, this could be it for your year. And yeah, whether you're in the playoffs or not, you're still going to go to the playoffs and you're going to compete for wins. But this is kind of just the pressure on these drivers and on these teams is just on a different level when they show up for this regular season finale.
Yeah, and we're obviously talking a lot about the Saturday race. There's the Friday race as well. John Hunter, I'll ask you about the chaos that will ensue in an Xfinity race at the end at Daytona. You've actually had great success both in Xfinity and with the Cup Series at Daytona. Both of the races will certainly have some wild finishes this weekend.
Yeah, they definitely will. The Xfinity race is super exciting. Racing at night as well. Those guys are definitely not afraid to lay it all out there on the line. And it being shorter than the Cup race, there's no time to kind of lollygag around. You can't just ride around. You have to be going to the front if you qualify bad or whatever it may be right from the start of the race. And you tend to see a lot of pushes go wrong in the Xfinity Series, so you get some action there, as well as just some great racing. And I think the other thing about Friday night's race for the Xfinity Series race, Daytona International Speedway has a great deal where kids 12 and under get in free as well. So make sure that you bring your kids out if you can attend. Free parking on site as well. So pretty exciting stuff that Daytona International Speedway is incorporating for not only the parents, but also being able to bring the next generation of race fans to the racetrack.
You talk about kids getting involved at an early age. I'll ask you if you have any memories from your early days. Obviously, your dad, Joe Nemechek, racing at Daytona many times as you were growing up. What kind of comes to mind as you go back to the old memory banks from when you were little?
Yeah, from my memories at Daytona, while Dad was out racing on the big racetrack, we were all racing scooters and foot racing around the playground in the driver-owner lot. So definitely a lot of great memories. We used to come down here for speed weeks. We'd spend 2 weeks at a time down here to kick off our year and then come back normally July 4th weekend. So it's been a great time for me. It's a place I've always looked forward to coming back to. When you drive through the tunnel at Daytona, there's nothing really like that. I used to say that about Bristol and Last Great Coliseum, but being able to be at Daytona for the first race of the year and then now the regular season finale, the energy driving in, seeing all the campers, seeing all the families, all the fans is great. And it brings a whole different culture and atmosphere to the drivers, and it's what gets us pumped up. I think that's why the night race is so special at Daytona as well.
Frank, while we're talking fan initiatives, I know you guys always have a full slate of things for everybody to do when they're there to make it, you're not just there for the race. There's sporting events where you get there an hour before the game, match, whatever starts, and then you leave right when it ends. NASCAR is not that.
No, I mean, I know we got a lot of Jags fans listening in.
Oh, yeah.
Love a tailgate before a Jags game. Just imagine a multi-day tailgate, and that's what NASCAR brings week in and week out. So our party really starts on Thursday night. We do a camper fest where we invite all of our campers that are on property into the Hard Rock Bet fan zone. I'll be out there cooking hot dogs. I'm personally working the grill. We'll probably be handing out some free beers as well. Country music star Tim Duggar's going to be on stage, and we have a variety of camping gifts that we're going to be handing out to our campers. Right. So that's Thursday night before cars are even on the track. And then on Friday, as John Hunter Nemechek was talking about, the Wawa 250, kids 12 and under get in for free. And man, the Xfinity Series, they have been putting on a show. Connor Zilic, Sam Mayer, Jesse Love, Austin Hill. I mean, there is nothing but drama going on in that series. A lot of big names.
Using the words Austin Hill and drama in the same sentence is probably pretty accurate there.
Don't forget the old guy, Allgaier.
Allgaier the Gator. He's a stud.
Yeah.
He definitely knows how to get the job done at Daytona. He had that Hellman Chevrolet parked in Victory Lane. Just feels like yesterday. So that is a must attend, must tune in event, and love the fact that again kids 12 and under get in for free. So that's on Friday, and then Saturday, our Midway area is always stuffed with great corporate partners from Advent Health, Toyota, Exalta, Sunoco, General Motors, just to name a few. These brands want to talk to our fans. They want to put a free gift in their hands. Drivers like John Hunter Nemechek, they're out there signing autographs and tossing out hats and gifts. So the party starts before you even get to the gate and go into your seat. And then once you're in your seat, we will be having a Gretchen Wilson concert. She's doing our pre-race show. We've got some tricks up our sleeve that I can't talk about just yet in regards to the pre-race show.
Okay.
Some things with Mother Nature need to be on our side to really pull that off.
Always the case here in North Florida.
John Hunter and I, we've been talking to every meteorologist that'll be listening, calling it any favor.
Don't look at the spaghetti plots. Don't look at the models. Don't worry about any of that.
It's Florida. I mean,
Florida.
it doesn't matter what the radar says. Buy your ticket, show up, and we've got lights. We're going to go racing. So
Gulfstream carries those things out of here. That's fine. No worries.
That's right. Yeah, and John Hunter's got a fishing expedition on Sunday, so he really needs to get the race in on Saturday.
Okay, what kind of fish? Are we talking Lake Lloyd, or are we talking the big lake to the east?
Oh, no, we'll be at Lake Lloyd all weekend fishing for some bass and stuff, and then we're headed south. We're going deep sea fishing off the Bahamas on Sunday.
Very nice.
Yeah, it'll be nice. Knock on wood, we get the race on Saturday night.
Get the race in Saturday night.
On Frank to bring good weather for
us. Have you done a lot of deep sea fishing?
Oh yeah.
What's your best catch? Best thing you've reeled in?
That's a really good question. I've caught a couple sailfish, but I really like catching marlin.
Yeah.
Marlin are really fun to catch. Mahi. Once you get one on the line and you get a school going, you can't keep up. I mean, it's awesome. I just love catching anything and everything.
Yeah. I grew up in South Florida, so we'd go fishing all the time, always after mahi. If we got one, we were happy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's generally how that was. That meant we didn't have to stop at Publix for dinner on the way home.
There you go.
Which was always a big win.
Yeah.
John Hunter, let's talk a little bit on the track. And what Legacy Motor Club's been doing this year. I do feel like they've taken a good amount of strides, and it's been something we've known with this team where it's going to be a building process. What has that process been like for you behind the wheel to see some of those results tick upwards and be like, okay, this hard work that we're putting in is paying off?
Yeah, it's been great. Jimmy's vision of where he wants to take Legacy Motor Club is really what sold me to come to the team in 2024. Last year, we knew was going to be a tough year for us. We knew it was going to be a struggle swapping from Chevrolet to Toyota, trying to figure out all the new tools, trying to get the right people in the right places. And it took a year for us to figure out some of that stuff, and had a lot of personnel changes over the offseason. All of upper management is different. My whole 42 team is completely new this year to Legacy Motor Club and to myself. There's not one person that is the same coming into 2025. So it's been great. The process changes, the procedural changes, the personnel changes. Everything is on the upward swing. When you look at our year last year, it was a struggle. We were showing up, and we had some really good breakout runs, and we had some really bad runs. But that's what happens in big-time auto racing, as we say. So this year has definitely been way better on the consistency side. We've been able to show up and have consistent speed off the truck, been able to qualify better, been able to execute our races the way that we need to. And most of the time, we're out finishing where we probably should potential-wise of our race cars, just based on execution and strategy and how Eric and I are able to handle certain situations. So it's been a really good learning year for me. Quite a few top 10s for myself and Eric Jones, and I think we have more top 10s this year than Legacy has ever had since they've been alive. So I'm having a lot of fun showing up to the racetrack every single week, and when it's fun, hard work pays off in the end, and it's a joy to show up. The whole culture in the shop has changed. Everyone has bought into the processes, the procedures, and the vision that ultimately Jimmy has. So Jimmy's been a great boss, a great mentor, a great friend, and we're only going to continue to keep building, and I feel like we're getting closer to that first win.
Expand a little bit on Jimmy. Obviously, in the 500, he was on track with you guys. He was out there getting the top 5 of his own. Go figure. Well,
yeah.
I remember it was always funny leading up to his race at the 600. His average finish for the year was above everybody else. It was just the one. It was the one race with the third. But how different is he as a competitor on the track versus, well, probably a competitor as an executive and as a decision maker?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think he's that different. He's pretty humble on and off the racetrack. There's times where he gets fired up on the racetrack, for sure, as we all do. Everyone says we have 2 personalities. We have one personality when we're outside the race car and one personality when we put a helmet on. 2 different people. But overall, Jimmy has been great to work with. He's been great from a mindset standpoint. He's been great from a boss standpoint, a leader standpoint. He's been there for us through tough times and things where we may struggle with something, or our cars may not be the way that we want them to drive, and just trying to keep our heads in the game. And he is definitely not afraid to speak up, which I think is a great quality to have. He's a great leader when it comes to that. He has a lot of experience from obviously his Hendrick days and the 48 car with Chad Knaus and kind of the strategies that they were on. So he brings a lot of great insight to Legacy Motor Club. It's continuing to evolve and continuing to change with Jimmy, but ultimately he pushes us to be better every single day, and that's the main thing. When you have a boss that's probably the GOAT of NASCAR with 7 championships, 83 Cup wins, and someone that actually wants to improve the team, that has that vision of where they want to go. Ultimately, we want to win races and championships in the NASCAR Cup Series. Well, he wants to do it for his Legacy 2.0 as a team owner as well. So I'm in it for the long haul with him. It's definitely not been an easy road, but when that hard work finally pays off and we get our first win, it's going to be one heck of a party, I can tell you that.
Without a doubt. Frank, I'll ask both of you guys this question, but just kind of speak to the state of NASCAR right now, kind of where we're at with the racing in the Cup Series. I know there's grumbles here and there about the car and maybe the type of racing that we're seeing. Do we have too many road courses? Are we doing this, and this? Obviously, you focus very much on Daytona,
sure,
and being able to put on a great show at a super speedway. But where do you feel like NASCAR is right now, and at least from kind of your perspective?
I grew up a race fan, and I grew up a racer. That's kind of where my perspective is going to come from. And authentically, NASCAR is fun to watch right now. I mean, and there are so many great ways that you can consume the sport through our network partners or just through social and digital. John Hunter himself, he does an amazing job with his YouTube channel and just a variety of ways to let his personality be known and seen. But from the Truck Series, Xfinity, and Cup Series, I think we've got really dynamic personalities. We have aggressive driving. We have drivers that are getting the helmet off and they're letting you know how they feel. And I think when you're an athlete behind the wheel, like, you're going to have strong opinions of the car and if it's good or not. And unless you're parking it consistently in victory lane, you're probably going to have some beef with the car of, hey, we need more horsepower. I don't like this, or I don't like that. Or I remember 15 years ago, you could knock it off the wall and still race. Well, like, everything is evolving and everything is changing, and it forces people to adapt. So when you look at 13 different drivers, I think that says a lot about the competition. I think when you look at the next gen car, of how, I don't want to say it's equaled the playing field, because John Hunter can talk specifically of just how challenging it still is. He was given some stats about, at Watkins Glen last weekend, the top 20 or 30, like, they all were within the same second, just off by 100th. Right. And there's noise about SVG and the road courses, and is that good or is that bad? I mean, tip of the hat to Justin Marks, right? Like, understand the game, that if you win a race, you're in the playoffs. And how many road course races do we have? Well, we're going to go get this dude who's just going to, consistently clean people's clocks on a road course racing. So guess what? We're talking about it. Yeah. So, and we're going to be tuning in to see what happens, right? People are going to want to tune in, and, maybe some are going to hope that SVG doesn't do well in Daytona just to say, see, I told you, he's not an oval racer. But, like, people are tuning in, they're talking, there's drama. So as a race fan, I love it. It's definitely not boring right now.
Discussion points are always a big deal. It's like the way you look at it. If you're in a fantasy football league and they're giving out more points to be a receiver because you're getting PPR and whatever, you're going to draft that guy higher. And Justin Marks did just that with a road course racer for sure. John Hunter, I'll kind of ask you the same sort of question. You talk about all the different channels and things you can watch it. One of my favorite things to do is when a really good driver qualifies well, has to change something, go to the back, pop on that HBO Max in-car camera and just watch them weave on through the field. That's always one of my favorite things. But when you look at it from your seat and what you've seen, because, you were in the former version of the Cup Series car. You went down to Xfinity, back to Cup Series. You've kind of gone to these different levels, seen these different cars. How How do you like the current state? I know, like you said, you'd rather be in victory lane a lot more.
Yeah, I definitely would. I would much rather be in victory lane a lot more. But this car is pretty unique, right? Independent rear suspension, sequential transmission, transaxle. Definitely drives way different than the Gen 6 car or the old Cup car does, right? So for me, it's been a year and a half of me trying to adapt to this car, what it needs, trying to figure that out, where the limits of the race car are. You definitely can't slide it around like you could the old car. You kind of lose grip and end up in the fence. So I've had to learn that the hard way a few times. But as Frank was saying, at Watkins Glen, like 7/10 was the difference between the pole and qualifying 30th. Like, it's insane how close everything is. But with this car, everything comes from single source manufacturers.
Yeah.
Everyone has all the same parts and pieces. So I guess you can say it's more of a level playing field, but the quality control, how you build the car, the preparation, what setups underneath the car, it can make a huge difference. So this car is way more sensitive to adjustments than the Gen 6 car was. And with the field being that close, everything matters. Pit road matters, tenths of a second on pit road, hundredths of a second on pit road, from rolling time to pit crew to strategy, your restarts, everything. You have to be on top of your A game on everything that you are absolutely doing every single weekend. And you dive into the statistics and our post-race debriefs and things of that sort, and you're just trying to maximize everything that you can and control what you can control. So it's interesting. I'm an advocate for more horsepower.
Sure.
For sure. I always like going faster, off throttle time more. So we'll see what happens. But it's definitely some fun racing to watch right now for sure. The Xfinity Series is fun to watch. The Truck Series is fun to watch. I think NASCAR is in a really great spot. I think one of the coolest things that they did this year was bringing the in-season challenge in for the 5-race deal.
Not to say anything bad about your performance in it. Here in Jacksonville, we were very much rooting for the Seabest car. Seabest is a Jacksonville company. So, I went and did an interview with their executive talking about the in-season challenge. So we weren't exactly upset to see the Seabest car advance. But you know what? That's the cool thing is that we got Seabest is here. Yeah. It's the home team. In NASCAR, you don't have a home team, right? Yeah. But you see a local sponsor sponsoring a car. You're like, that's our guy.
It's cool. I think what they were able to do with that, right? From fans being able to fill out brackets and everyone.
Mine was good after the first week.
Really?
I think I got 13 out of 16 in that first in the Atlanta wild card.
Atlanta was wild.
It was a wild card.
But in the end, like, being able to bring that perspective and fan support, right? I think from a driver perspective, you guys saw a lot of different personalities come out. You saw trash talking, you saw digital content flowing, things that you normally wouldn't see on a normal race weekend, right? And it was fun to be a part of that. So props to NASCAR and everyone who made that happen. Hopefully they bring it back. But
shout out to Denny for coming up with the idea a couple years ago. Make sure he hears that. Right?
Yeah. But overall, it's been a great experience, and trying to get that millennial fan base brought into the sport as the older generation kind of fades out, and trying to bring the youth in is a great example. From the free tickets of kids 12 and under get in free, and it's just a great time to be a part of NASCAR. We're on the upward swing and continuing to grow.
All right, well, for all the fans out there, I've always said it, the best way to find out if you like a race, you gotta go.
Yep.
You can watch it all you want on TV, but until you're there, until you get all the senses, the sounds, the smells, seeing the speed, you just can't capture it on television as much as we try to in our world. Got to go to the race, and that is coming up Saturday night under the lights, the Coke Zero Sugar 400. Frank Kelleher, Hunter Nemechek, appreciate you guys joining me here up here in Jacksonville.
Yeah, thank you for having us today.
Yeah, thank you.